Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. Elise Cannon. Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. I don't even know what day it is. Today is Thursday, November 16th. It's day 41, and it is going to take me a minute because I pulled up the wrong day, so I apologize. I do have a fair amount to share with you. I gave a pretty extensive briefing this morning. I think the big deal that I want everyone to know is that we had heard a couple of days ago whispers about a possible hostage deal and a multi-day agreement. The idea was that 50 women and children would be released of the hostages. By the way, today's day 41. And so we heard about this potential hostage deal and that also there would be a ceasefire for several days. The rumors we'd heard were up to 5 days. And it was announced in the Washington Post, Hamas agrees to a tentative deal to free dozens of hostages pending Israel's approval. And last night before I went to bed, I heard it was reported in the Israeli news that Israel rejected the deal. But just in the last few hours, I saw an Israeli friend of ours who is in Jerusalem who tweeted that the number, there's so many things happening, I am sorry, that 20 prisoners from Ofer prison, which is a prison just outside of Jerusalem, 20 prisoners, Palestinian prisoners from Ofer were just released. They were stripped naked and sent out. I have not read the news on it. The person who reported it, I trust completely. I have not even had the time to read the news since early this morning. But my point of sharing about Ofer prison is that could be an indication that there is a prisoner deal on the way, even though last night we heard that Israel had rejected the possible, we thought that it was going to be announced last night, when President Biden had his announcement related to China, et cetera. We thought we might hear word of a ceasefire for a few days, and we did not, which was deeply discouraging. And I'm sorry, I might be repeating some things from last night. I can't quite remember what I said yesterday versus the briefing this morning. So if I'm redundant, I apologize. The reports of trucks getting into Gaza is still woefully inadequate. The monthly average prior to the war was 10,860 truckloads a month. And right now, the total number of trucks allowed into Gaza as of November 12th is only 981. And those often include water and food, aid, and they include other things as well. So it's not only water and food and aid. And so the reports that we are hearing is that Gaza is running out of water. It's running out of food. The death tolls from Gaza, communications have become such a big issue. And so the death tolls, the numbers have not have not changed in the last several days, and it's because of communications. I literally just got this text in the last 15 minutes from Gaza, and I have not been hearing from my contacts there. So whenever I hear from them, it's always moving, even if it's just a transactional communication. The text I got from Gaza at 5:10 p.m. East Coast time said that there's no communications in Gaza. All cell phones and internet are down. I'm running on an eSIM that connects to an Israeli network. I can't understand for how long it will work. The big deal about communications being down, which is because gas has run out, is that people can't call ambulances. I believe I shared with you one of my closest, dearest friends just lost a second family member. Her uncle died because he was staying in the Latin hospital. He was staying in the Catholic church, and he had to get to the hospital, and he could not get to the hospital because the hospital is so many kilometers away, and the Israeli incursion and fighting is in between him and the hospital, and so he died unable to get to the hospital. We have also heard news that those who are sheltering in the Catholic Church, there are a number of Christians there. They are running out of food. They've been reaching out to their families in Jordan. We are we are just sick about this. You know, there are less than 1,000 Christians in Gaza, and the Christians there are experiencing the same realities that their Muslim neighbors are. And so as we've been talking about, things would get more and more desperate, and we're starting to hit a tipping point in terms of water and food. I reported, I think I did this yesterday extensively, on the situations related to the hospital, the questions about the Al-Shifa hospital. We talked about that yesterday, if I recall. We also talked about UNRWA's sanitation shutting down because of the lack of gas. In general, the summary is people in Gaza are slowly running out of food, water, and electricity. The wash stations, water, sanitation, and hygiene are shutting down. Fuel has been allowed into Gaza, and I'm so frustrated with the media because they're saying fuel is allowed into Gaza. The amount of fuel allowed into Gaza is 23,000 liters. It's 9%, 23,000 liters, excuse me, to UNRWA, which is only for a portion. UNRWA is only taking care of the refugees, which is, you know, only a portion of the 2.3 million people. I think their numbers are 600,000 plus. And the UNRWA office said they received this fuel to the besieged Gaza Strip. It's important to understand the fuel is restricted and can only be used for transportation. It is not to be used, listen to this, fuel cannot be used for medical or water facilities. It is appalling that fuel is being used as a weapon of war. 70% of the people, this is as of the end of yesterday, won't have clean water. They need 160,000 liters of fuel just for UNRWA to be able to operate. So I wanted to let you know that. I had a couple of other updates I wanted to be sure to let you know about. This is because I got my days mixed up, so I really do apologize. I wanted to let you know about the Armenian Quarter in Jerusalem. I'm going to read to you. This is from Danny Seidemann. He's a Jewish human rights lawyer in Jerusalem. He said, "We now know what is behind the purported transaction regarding the large strategic tract in the Armenian Quarter that is one of the most prominent East Jerusalem settler organizations in active collaboration with the government of Israel. This has nothing to do with real estate. It has everything to do with the billion-plus shekel government plan well underway to encircle the spiritual and historical core of Jerusalem with biblically motivated settlements and settlement projects, settlements being Jewish settlers. In general, this is a radical transformation of the character of Jerusalem, fragmenting Palestinian East Jerusalem and marginalizing Christian equities. The Armenian Quarter settlement, in particular, will be the most damaging settling development in the Old City since 1967. The Armenian Quarter settlement will make any future political agreement more difficult inordinately. It'll have a devastating impact on the small and challenged Armenian community. It will beget another erosion of Christian presence in Jerusalem, and it will contribute to the weaponizing of faith in Jerusalem, where events are driven and discourse is dominated by religious pyromaniacs. This is not nearly important. This is very urgent. This is not a drill. The settlers might take possession. If you don't understand what I'm talking about the Armenian Quarter, this is me speaking, in the old city of Jerusalem. And Danny Seidemann is telling us the settlers may take possession of parts of this Armenian Quarter, Christian Quarter in Jerusalem. Jewish settlers might take possession as early as tonight, backed and supported by the Israeli government and by the Israeli police who do the settlers' bidding. If they take possession, they may never leave. In 1990, the same settler organization temporarily took the St. John's Hospice in the Christian Quarter, and they are still there today. This demands immediate action by the real friends of Israel, says Danny Seidemann from Jerusalem. So I would encourage you, friends, there is still so much work to be done. I would remind you, for those For those in DC, we're going to have a prayer vigil on Monday. Please come join us. We do anticipate that that will be online, so keep your eyes out on our website. We hope to have information about that very soon. It probably won't come out until Monday, but we do hope to stream that live. And so thank you for following us. Please take action and call for a ceasefire to the end of this horrific violence. The bombing of Gaza, and the violence from Hamas.